What's good, everybody? So today we're back for the USP-S. Now you guys know what this video is. It's going to be a full guide on every skin in CS2 covering all the tips, tricks, and things to know so you know exactly what USP-S you should get at your budget. With that being said, let's get right into the video. First up, the print stream, which has a ton of great things about it. First up, the black and white colorway. We have accents up top and the main feature, which is the pearlescence, meaning it changes color depending on the angle you hold the skin at. Now this skin has a ton of space for crafting, especially with hollows. They fit in very naturally within the skin itself. Also, this skin provides great value at 28 bucks if you get it in field tested. It looks factory new. And for inventories, obviously black ties are going to be a great choice. You could even do spearmints for the white match or even Nox for the full black match. Next up, the Jawbreaker, which is incredibly vibrant and has a ton of color to it. The main decal is going to be the dog towards the back of the gun, and also since there's so much color, you can pair this with a ton of inventories from pink to yellow to blue. I really like field agent gloves because of the yellow accents on the fingers that match the front of the gun. Now this skin is also gunsmith finish, meaning it's going to look great in minimal wear and field tested, and I think minimal wear at 10 bucks is going to be the best value. Crafting on it is a little bit hard, but if you like your vibrant skins, this is a great option. Next up, the Cortex, which came out in 2018. Now this skin has a decal of a skeleton with his brains covering the entire gun. It's a great looking skin, and if you want a pink inventory, you want to pair it with vices, this combo looks incredible. The blues match, the pinks match. You can even do some pink crafts on it, especially towards the middle of the gun. I would also say fac new at 8 bucks or minimal wear at 4 is going to be a great option, but keep in mind towards field tested, this skin tends to show a lot of wear, so I would recommend the better conditions. Overall, a great skin. If you want pink, definitely consider it. Next up, the Ticket to Hell, which is one of the most popular skins in the entire game. Under 2 bucks in factory new provides great value. It's a full black USP-S with a ton of white decals on it, so it's perfect for crafting. If you do black and white stickers, they're going to fit in naturally with all the other decals. You can pair this with Nox for a full black inventory, black ties for a black and white inventory. This skin is versatile, it provides great value, has a ton of character, and just overall looks incredible for how much you pay for it. Next up, the Trader, which has a nice metallic shine to it. It's basically full red and blue with a ton of golden accents on it, and the main depiction is going to be a giant tree with a golden snake coiled around it. It's a great skin, tons of color, vibrancy, and detail, and it also has the gunsmith finish, so it's pretty expensive in factory new at around $44. However, field tested looks pretty much identical, and it only costs $8, which in my opinion is one of the best value skins in the entire game. It's a perfect skin for full red inventories, and for gloves, I recommend Scarlet Shema for the cheaper alternative, but Crimson Web for the better match between the reds. I also highly recommend pairing this skin with the Empress because they match thematically in terms of color and the finish as well. Next up, the Alpine camo, which is pretty new. It has a nice colorway of purple and blue instead of the typical green and brown that we see on most camo skins, so it's a great choice for full blue inventories. I highly recommend pairing it with amphibious gloves, easily the best glove match between the colors, and also this skin is only 4 bucks in factory new, so go for the best condition. I do want to highlight that it does have a few case hardened components to it, so you technically can find a few blue gem patterns that do kind of make the skin look a little bit better with more blue, but overall just a solid budget choice for full blue inventories. Next up, the Noir, which I've covered on a few other guns, so I'm going to cover this one briefly. It's a pretty expensive skin. Minimal wear is the best value at 16 bucks, especially from .07 through .10 float. This skin has a giant depiction of a lady, and the colorway is black and white with neon colors, which means you can pair this with a ton of inventories. You can use black ties for black and white, you can use vice gloves for pink, or even overprints for cyan. It's a very versatile skin in terms of colorways. It's a great skin for crafting if you want to put neon stickers on this skin, and it's just a ton of art and color for what you pay for it, so it's a great skin overall. Next up, the Kill Confirm. Now if we look at the skin objectively from how much art we get on this skin, this is easily the best red USP-S in the entire game. There is so much going on. We have a giant skull with a bullet going through it. It covers basically the entire slide of the gun onto the silencer. Tons of art, a lovely colorway of red and orange. Obviously, if you want to go for a full red inventory, this is the high tier USP-S to go to, and obviously Crimson Webs are going to be the best option. Now there's a huge thing with the skin. It has a really weird wear pattern where, let me show you Battle Scarred. This is what Battle Scarred looks like. With most skins, Battle Scarred is pretty beat up, but with this skin it looks pretty much identical, just a few spots that are gray towards the bottom and on the slide, so the wear is pretty much unnoticeable, and you drop the price by over $100. Battle Scarred is only 33 bucks, so if you really want a high tier red USP-S, easily go for this in Battle Scarred. It's gonna look phenomenal. You can do a ton of crafts on it, and just a great looking skin with so much detail. Also, the eagle towards the back is great when you actually play with the skin in game. Next up, the Cyrex, which has 3 main selling points. A, it's extremely cheap at $270 in factory new, so you can get the best condition for a very low price. 2, the colorway is incredibly versatile. White, black, and red is going to work with a ton of gloves, a ton of inventories. You can put this skin pretty much wherever you want and it's just going to work. And 3, it has a ton of space for sticker craft. So if you're into customizing your skin, this is going to be a great choice. You can put white, black, and red stickers on it, which there are plenty of in CS2. Overall, it's a great, cheap, versatile skin that looks pretty good on its own as well. Next up, the Monster Mashup, which a lot of people ignore, but it actually has a lot to offer for the price. We have a nice dinosaur with the internal showing. We have a nice colorway of green, yellow, and blue, and the combo between this and overprints is perfect. I specifically picked a special pattern on the overprints that matches the pattern at the bottom of the handle for this gun, so this combo looks incredible. Also, most people don't know this, but this skin is pearlescent, meaning some parts of the skin actually change color from blue to green. When you inspect it, you can actually see the green kind of turn into blue, which is really cool, and the best value is going to be 22 bucks for field tested. It looks pretty much perfect in field tested, but I do recommend 0.15 through 0.20. Overall, a great choice. Once again, if you do like pearlescent skins and you want a green inventory, this is definitely a skin that you should consider. Next up, the Black Lotus, which is a pretty simple skin, but it's very elegant. The best value is 250 in minimal wear, and it's basically a gray handle, a 3 mapped silencer, and we have a purple slide with a Black Lotus. If you're looking for a full purple inventory, for example with Imperial Plaids, it's a good choice, but also if you're going for like a flora inventory with flowers and ferns, this is also a good choice. Obviously, this skin is very similar to the M4A1S version, so overall, if you're going for purple or flowers, obviously go for this skin, it's quite cheap. The torque is super overlooked in my opinion, but it has some great application. It's super cheap at 150 in factory renew, so go for the best condition, and it looks great with Nox. You can obviously use black ties for the black and white colorway, but I really like how the handle matches the full black color of the Nox. Now let's talk about the best applications. You can pair this with black and white inventories or yellow, but the best application is going to be for crafting. It's a perfect skin where you can apply black stickers on the white part or white stickers on the black part for a super nice contrast and make some incredible crafts. Once again, if you're into crafting, it's a good choice. If you want a yellow inventory, this is also something to consider, but it's not like the best skin in terms of artwork. Next up, the Darkwater, which is a full gray pattern-based USP-S with a nice metallic shine to it. This skin only comes in minimal wear and field tested, but keep in mind it wears really bad, so I only recommend minimal wear, and the closer to 0.07, the better. Also keep in mind this skin is super expensive, 85 bucks, which is quite a lot, especially considering you barely get any art. If you are looking for a shiny USP-S that's full gray, it's a good choice. If you're going for a full gray inventory, if you want to pair it with something like Smokeouts for a full gray match, it is a decent choice. It's hard to craft on, but once again, it wears really bad and it's quite expensive, so only use it for full gray colorways. Next up, the Guardian, which is a skin from 2014. It's super OG and it doesn't have too much to offer. Basically a full blue slide with the CT logo. The best attributes for it is going to be that it has a ton of space for crafting and a full black silencer. As far as gloves go, it's kind of hard to match that blue shade, so you can kind of pick whatever you want. And this skin is also pretty cheap, 6 bucks in fact new. Minimal wear is 4, so you can kind of pick what the best value for you is. Next up, the check engine. Now, if you're looking for a budget red USP-S, definitely consider this one. It's under $1 in factory renew, and you can actually get it in active drops right now. We have a mesh pattern covering the whole gun. We have a nice deep red color that matches really well with Crimson Web gloves, and as a bonus, it's also on the new model. Also, you can even craft on it as well. There's a ton of space for it, so overall, a pretty versatile skin. Great budget red choice that pairs really nicely with a ton of red gloves. Next up, the Whiteout, which is a very simple skin, but there's a lot to cover. First up, it's flow capped at 0.06, so factory renew is $200, while minimal wear is 5 times cheaper at $43. Obviously, the best value is minimal wear around that 0.07 float range. However, I do actually recommend going for the flow capped factory renew $200 version because wear really messes up the skin because it's full white, and this skin has so many possibilities to it. First of all, it is the best skin for a full white inventory, and 2, this is one of the best skins in the game for crafting. A full white canvas, you can do so much with it. Rainbow stickers, black and white, full black, you can do so much with it in terms of crafting. This skin fits perfect with full white gloves. Now, the reason I have spearmints is because spearmints are the only gloves in the game to have a true white color on the inner palm. King snakes are more of like a, yellowish white color, but spearmints have that true white that actually makes this combo look incredible. Once again, super versatile skin. It's also on the new model, so this is one of the skins I definitely recommend for crafting or for full white inventories. And even though factory renew is extremely expensive, I do actually recommend overpaying for it. Next up, the Flashback, which is identical to the M4A1S counterpart, so pretty much everything applies here. For the best glove combo, it's easily going to be the Forest DD Pack gloves. They match in style and color. This skin has a rustic, war-torn feel to it. It is extremely cheap at $150, so if you're looking for like a green USP-S and you're going for like a rustic inventory, this is honestly not a bad choice to consider, but once again, you're not getting a ton of art with it, but it is also cheap as well. The USP-S 27 is a great choice for multiple reasons. First up, it's super cheap at under $1 in factory new. Second off, it's a great choice for a full neutral USP-S that's going to work with a ton of gloves like Smokeouts, Unhinged, or even Nox. But the main selling point is the incredible 3D mapping. Basically, the entire slide and silencer are full 3D mapped. There's a ton of like indents and cutouts on this skin that really gives it like a metallic feel. Overall, this skin really pops in game. It's super cheap, tons of space for crafting, and overall just a great budget choice. Next up, let's quickly cover the blueprint. The best value is easily minimal wear at $7 because factory new is over $20, so it's way cheaper in minimal wear and pretty similar. Now, this skin is very simple. It's basically full blue and black with a gridded sheet covering the silencer and handle. As far as combos go, polygons are perfect. The color match looks incredible. It's a great choice if you want to go for full blue inventories. And third, it's a great choice if you want to craft on it. The slide where it's full black is great if you want to put like darker blue stickers on it. Overall, a pretty overlooked choice, but if you're going for full blue or you have polygons, this is a great choice to go with. Next up, the Orion, which is easily the best orange USP-S in the entire game. It has pretty much no competition when it comes to this colorway, so it looks great in orange loadouts and especially with Tiger Strikes because the pinky has the same orange that we see on the gun. It is quite expensive, $53 in factory new, but I only recommend going for factory new. It looks clean on its own. I've seen some incredible crafts on it, but the biggest tip for this skin, when you get it in factory new, the ejection port cover on some patterns looks pretty beat up. However, if you find a pattern where you can see in the middle of the gun up top on the orange part, if you can find a pattern where the ejection port cover is very clean, it makes a huge improvement to your skin, so it makes crafting a lot better, and just overall the skin looks so much cleaner if you find a good pattern with that orange spot pretty much filled out and showing no wear. Yo, I low-key gotta stop doing videos at 4 in the morning, bro. It's bright now. But anyways, next up we got the Stainless, which is the most neutral USP-S in the entire game. Basically, the Hitman gun, we have a black silencer, black handle, and then the silver slide. You can do whatever you want with this skin. You can put crafts on it, there's a ton of space. You can keep it nice and clean. If you want like a sleek looking skin, you can match it with black inventory, silver. You could put crafts on it with different colors and then match your inventory to that color. You could do whatever you want. And the biggest thing is its patina. So it basically shows no wear and higher floats, and field tested at $4 is an incredible steal. Once again, arguably the most versatile skin in the entire game, and even on its own, it just looks so clean. Next up, the purple DD Pat, which is a huge upgrade from the typical DD Pat skins we see in CS2. It's got a nice metallic shine to it, it's got a nice purple color, fits perfectly with Imperial plaids. If you want to go for like a budget purple loadout, it's a great choice. You can do some great crafts on it, but keep in mind this skin wears really bad. So I do only recommend factory new. However, it's only $15, so I think it's great value, but once again, keep it at factory new for the cleaner version. Next up, the lead conduit, which is super cheap, $4 in fact new, $120 in minimal wear. Both of those are great value. Now, this skin in particular has some of the most insane 3D mapping I have ever seen on any CS2 skin. I mean, look at the silencer and the slide. All of it is completely filled out. It's all 3D mapped, and it looks incredible in my opinion. Even the stippled grip adds to the skin quality. We have a nice shine on the handle as well. Just an incredible skin that so many people completely overlook. You can pair it with bronze for a nice combo between bronze and silver. Overall, it's an incredible value skin. If you like 3D mapping, this is definitely a skin you should consider, and it's also super clean on its own. Next up, the Cayman, which is very similarly priced for every single float, so factory new is the best value at around $51. Keep in mind this skin is quite expensive. Now for the design, orange handle, black silencer, and a Cayman on the slide. Apparently Caymans are alligatorids, whatever that is, but this skin is great for crafting. You have a ton of space on the silencer, or even if you put stickers on the eye or the Cayman itself, it looks great. This skin looks incredible with lunar reefs. If you have this glove, definitely consider this skin. The combo potential is incredible, and obviously this skin excels in teal inventories, but keep in mind it can wear pretty rough. Next up, the Night Ops, which is basically the dark water without the metallic shine to it. It's a pretty basic skin. We have a camo pattern with blue, gray, and white as the colorway. If you're looking for a cheap gray USP-S to put in your gray loadout, obviously this is going to be a pretty good option. It's under $1 in factory new, so go for the best condition, but keep in mind this skin wears really bad. Even at factory new, it's going to start showing some wear. For gloves, obviously go with gray. Something like smokeouts is going to work pretty well. Next up, the royal blue, which is very similar to the whiteout, where it's a canvas skin. The entire gun is basically one blue shade, so it's perfect for crafting, perfect for full blue inventories. However, it is quite hard to match with gloves because no gloves really have the same shade of blue. The best option I found was polygons, but any glove with this dark blue color will work decent. Now this skin, it wears quite bad, and factory new is quite expensive at 55 bucks. Minimal wear, it should be pretty good at $15, but keep in mind you need to keep the float at 0.07 through 0.10 so you minimize how much wear you get on the skin. Next up, the Desert Tactical, which is super cheap, 50 cents in factory new, and it's a pretty low-key skin with a full tan colorway. If you're looking for a budget tan USP-S, this is a pretty good option, and if you're not a big fan of like super fancy or colorful skins, this is more low-key. It's got a nice shine to it when you hold it up in bright lighting, and for gloves, obviously go with something tan. I'm showing it off with slingshots because they have the tan inner palm that matches quite well. Next up, the Blood Tiger, which is actually pretty expensive at 6 bucks for a camo skin, and the colorway is red, green, and gray. Basically impossible to work with, but the best application I found was when you pair it with the Third Commando Company gloves. This combo looks incredible. I have no idea why it works, but it is perfect in terms of every single color matching. It just works so well, but besides that, it's hard to craft on, it's hard to put in other inventories, so if you really want this combo right here, go for it, but besides that, there's not too much to offer. Next up, the orange Anolas. It's a pretty interesting skin, super pattern based. We have a bunch of circles covering the entire gun, and the main colorway is kind of ivory with like this orange tint. Now for combos, Tiger Strikes are pretty good. They have the ivory fingertips that match the skin pretty well, and also the skin only comes in factory new, minimal wear, and field tested, and all of them cost pretty much the same, so go for factory new at around that $66 price point. It's a pretty good skin, very unique. I don't see a lot of people actually using it in game, and it has some great crafting potential as long as you can match up the colors, because this is basically a bunch of shades, not like super defined colors. If you're a fan of simple but elegant skins like the stainless, but you have a green inventory, the Parag Green is a great choice. We have a two-tone colorway, lime green on the handle, gray on the slide and silencer. This skin handles crafts really well, especially if you use lime green stickers. It just fits perfectly. As far as combos go, the emerald gloves are a great budget choice that matches perfectly the same two-tone colorway, and overall I do recommend it in factory new at 18 bucks. It's a bit more than minimal wear, but keeping the skin clean is a great choice because it just looks so clean when you don't have stickers, or even if you do make a craft on it. Next up, the USP-S Ancient Visions. Now this skin is very similar in price for all the floats, so factory new is the best value at 42 bucks. A little expensive, but this skin is so interesting. There's a ton of detail, it's got an Aztec theme to it, and this skin has huge pattern variation. All of the patterns look completely different from one another. I highly recommend checking out this skin. There's just so much customizability to it. There's so much detail. We have stone statues, serpents, we have like a flora design behind. The colorway is pretty nice. You can pair this really nicely with green inventories, but keep in mind there's no gloves that really match it one-to-one. Overall, it's a super interesting skin that not a lot of people like actually check out, and you can do some incredible crafts with it as well. So overall, just a super underrated skin in my opinion that you should definitely check out, especially like a pattern guide. Next up, the Road Rash, which has one of the most bold artistic decisions that I've seen on any CS2 skin. This is intentional wear on a factory new skin. This is the best condition you can get, so you either hate it or you love it. I think it's pretty cool. It kind of fits the style. We also have like a bullet traveling down the entire gun, but the base color is full white. Now this skin, non-negotiable. It is the best when paired with spearmints. This combo looks incredibly clean. Also, this skin matches really well when you actually put stickers on it. If you do lime green or even blue, that works really well. And also, this skin is quite expensive, but all of the floats provide the same value. And keep in mind, the higher the float gets, it kind of seamlessly blends into the design of the skin, so getting it in field tested, well worn, or battle scarred is not a bad decision. Next up, the Forest Leaves. It's a camo skin with green and brown as the main colors. It's super cheap, under $1 in factory new, and it pairs really nicely in green inventories. That's pretty much it. It's kind of hard to craft on it, but keep in mind it is on the new model, so if you like that and you need a green camo skin, consider this one. Next up, the Pathfinder, which is a pretty cool skin from the Norse collection. There's a maze covering the entire gun, and the colorway is gray, white, and black, so it fits perfect with smokeouts, but obviously it's going to work with any gray glove or any gray inventory. Now this skin is great great for crafting. If you know the Minotaur's Labyrinth, you can kind of replicate that on this skin, but you have to use scrape stickers and you can kind of put whatever you want in the maze. Also, this skin is priced pretty much the same for all the floats, so factory renew at 31 is going to be the best value. Really cool skin overall. I love how dense the actual pattern is, and it looks great when you play with it in game. Next up, a skin from the baggage collection is going to be the business class. It's basically like the stainless but with brown as the base color. We have leather on the handle and the silencer and a brown stripe running through the middle of the slide. It's a perfect skin for crafting. You can kind of replicate the jet set craft where you put stickers on it and make it look like it's been around the world. It's perfect for full brown inventories. Once again, it's quite expensive, but if you're a fan of these low-key but clean skins that you like to craft on, this is a great choice. Next up, the Serum, which is another camo skin, but the colorway is red, green, and gray, so obviously the best combo is going to be with 3rd Commando Company gloves. That's pretty much the only place where it excels. You can't use it in normal inventories or pair it with pretty much any other glove in the game. Now, this skin does have a nice shine to it, which is a huge positive, but it's also quite expensive. It only comes in factory new, minimal wear, and field tested, and the best value is fact new at around $45 because this skin wears really bad. You can't really craft on it, so that's pretty much it. It's a very unique skin that has pretty much one use case. Next up, the Overgrowth, which is an OG skin from the Bravo case. It's flow capped at 0.06, so factory renew is quite expensive at 48. Minimal wear does provide better value at 25, but keep in mind this skin is used in trade ups, so it doesn't really provide good value in general. Now for the design, it's a camo skin. We have yellow, dark green, and green, so you can pair this with yellow gloves, DD-pad gloves, green gloves. You can kind of pick. It's not the best skin for actually crafting, but keep in mind this skin wears really bad, so 0.07 through 0.10 will actually make this skin look a whole lot better. And finally, for the last skin of the video, we have the collection skin that Target acquired. This is the high tier premium pink USP-S that is going to be the perfect fit for vice gloves. Quite expensive, $165 in factory new, and I only recommend going for fact new because this skin wears really bad. Even fact new has a ton of scratches on it, so I do recommend a good flow and a good wear pattern to make it look, pretty clean. It's pattern based as well. It has some cyan accents on it that match the blue on the actual vice gloves. Overall, it's a perfect skin if you want a pink high tier inventory, and it actually works pretty good with pink crafts as well. So that's pretty much it for this video. Guys, if you enjoyed or found this video helpful, consider subbing to the channel or dropping a like. It is massively appreciated. We have one more video left in the series, which is going to be the Deagle, and that's pretty much it. I hope to see y'all in the next video and have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everyone.